Hey there, beloved Ascension pioneers. Welcome to my video, which will be a continuation of my previous video about intimacy in the beloved relationships, in the true source intimacy and divine reunion. I know I've mentioned that the star wisdom will be coming through again in the video about star origin, but this is still building up a bit. And today, when I was on my run, I just felt that this is something that needs to come through first. And who am I, to kind of argue with the divine will? I just follow my feeling whenever it comes in a certain way. So I feel this is really important because it will be a bit more about the beloved energy. Because when I look at the kind of like the information that others are sharing about this, sometimes I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest, because firstly, there's so rare master teachings about this. They talk about the beloved I am, the I am presence. And most of them concentrate on the symptoms and synchronicities between souls and things like that. But I feel when we step on our role, as mastering ourselves, becoming master souls, and tuning into that frequency instead of the, just searching for things in the outside, which is never the real truth. It never comes from there. So I think this is something we need to come into understanding of. This is our true primal nature. So that's why I'm calling this video the beloved energy is the principle of creation. So it's a creation thing. It's not an infatuation thing. I mean, I will share my own path. I love guiding men to the heart. And this is something that was always a huge part of my purpose in a way. I mean, it just found me. It isn't like I was forcing it or trying to make it happen. But a lot of men come my way and they make contact with me for, reasons that differ, from one another. But the thing is that there's always this like common denominator, in all of these stories and experiences. And I've seen just the thread that runs through everything here is that I kind of help to guide men into the heart because a lot of them still have that. We become infatuated with something we see in the outside. The good example is when we see a beautiful flower, and humanity, the kind of consciousness we've been at dominantly was like, oh, I need to have it, I need to pick that flower, instead of just observing it growing in nature, being in the wildlife that it put itself there. And just we need to always own something that's beautiful and that's enchanting and magical. And a lot of that was already shared in the movies that kind of try to share that story, with the evil queen, who, one of them is Snow White, I think, this example. But there's a lot of other archetypal stories like this that show how there was this figure who wanted the magic that was seen in somebody else, and they killed it. They take their heart out, for example. That's just the archetype. It looks like a simple story, but there's a lot of messages in there. We kind of need to have something there outside of us, and we want that magic. And when we see a magical being, and I know that I am a magical being because I live a simple life, and magic is always in simplicity. So when a lot of times we were, just like programmed this way, we see something beautiful and therefore we must have it. Therefore we must pick it, like a beautiful flower. And it's the same in the relationship between man and a woman. A lot of men, when they see a beautiful woman, they're just like, wow, I need to have it. I need to own it. I am the beloved of that beautiful enchanted being. So like I've shared in my last video, this has happened quite a lot in my own example, and this is something that I want to share. Why this is so important, because the knowing of your beloved only comes from within. The beloved is a frequency of your own creation, because when we're created, we burst out like this flame. That's why a lot of people use the word twin flame, but because the word has been so manipulated by the New Age community and the metaphysical community, it just lost its magic. But in truth, it's still neutral. But sometimes, we avoid using things because they just lost their magic, and we kind of try to find a way around it. But why this is so important is because I've seen a pattern in all of this. We don't still know what this is mostly, because master souls who come here to show the way through their own divine remembrance and the nature of their own experience, which is the only way that makes you gain wisdom through the spirit initiations. You need to have experience. I just shared on my Facebook page today that, there is no wonder why we never forget about the feelings we have. We forget about thoughts quickly sometimes. The thought is a fleeting thing, but the heart knowing, the feeling never goes away. I had a dream about my beloved. It was I think it was in the summer. It was June. I went to the seaside for one day, and there I had a beautiful dream. It was 2012. About that about the beloved, and it's not about the personality. It's not about the figure, how he looked. It was the energy and the flow of that exchange when we were just staring at each other was magnetic. It was a magnetic attraction because they're both one soul. And what Spirit showed me in that dream was how you feel when you truly meet the beloved. And honestly, when I've been going through energy exchanges with different men in my life that come to me, or it just happens when two people meet each other. There's something they need to experience or share, exchange. I've never felt this, this true flow. But I always keep it going because it's in me. The magic is in me. So it's only that inner feeling that makes us really be aware of who our beloved is, not a who, but a frequency, because together with the twin soul, which we are both, it's comprising of both. The essence is the twin soul fraction, because we perceive it as a separate thing that comes together again. And basically, in truth, it's, in spirit core, everything already is. So we're always together anyway. But the split off is only true when there is an experience of matter, when there's incarnation. Usually, how it is explained in a lot of spiritual explanations or books or whatever, is explained that one of them splits off to explore the density, and another one stays in the higher realm to guide the other, so they don't get lost. They just follow them as their journey, and as they go up and about. But the thing is that, of course, in many of those times, such as now, a lot of them come together. But this doesn't always mean that they will maybe incarnate together at the same time. Sometimes maybe it will come through a walk-in energy, a lot of those things, but it's not really important. The important thing is to know yourself fully. And the only to know yourself fully is to know the unique pattern vibration that you originated from, meaning like how you were created. And all of existence and all of creation, the source is one, but you were created as this unique, beautiful, individualized presence. Your first sparkle of being is always described as I am. Not I am this, I am Polona, I am Aurea, I am Starseed, I am a Palladian. These are all different experiences that one might have. But the core energy, the life-giving energy, the self-sustaining energy of source within us, the first primal energy is the I am. And a lot of the teachers, they don't even talk about that in reference to the beloveds, although it is the most important thing to know and understand. When one truly knows their beloved, one is devoted only to the service that they provide as a unique, individualized, but whole essence. So when I say I am devoted to service, and when I say I am devoted to my beloved, you really see that that's not a separate thing. So my beloved shares the path with me. So when in physical incarnation, what is really important here is that you recognize the frequency of the path of this being if they come into the physical, because they have the same path. It's not similar. It's not, a very close soulmate or a soul companion or a soul friend or whatever it is. It is just not the same. It might feel very intense and very coming home with a lot of beings, of course, because we all share the oneness. We're all in unity here. But this is a completely natural, self-sustaining thing. It's very primal. That doesn't mean primal senses, primal desires, primal in the way how we originate. First and foremost, through the I am presence, our own individualized I am presence within the great I am, the all that is. So when you understand that these are all spirit initiations and that you can't just go from being completely unaware at one point and, I'm already there at twin soul consciousness. It's just these experiences that keep us going and going. Like, for example, I've served a lot of men in my life. So they moved even higher and they expanded more in the heart center. But they also served me because I also had experiences that I needed on that part. How to improve my service was always my biggest lesson. How to even more expand, that I can be even more of service, that I can expand to bring even more light of the truth through my purity, and purity is the only way. So the more you are pure, the more you will know yourself. The more you will feel because through purity you will feel. The more you will feel, the more you will know, because it's the feeling, internal feeling, that leads to inner knowing. And sometimes there's other people telling me things like, it's not that I'm the only one. I had other women share with me that there were others who told them, I'm your beloved, and they just didn't feel it. And it was the same for me, because I feel that because the goddess is awakening so much, the men are starting to wake up to that. They're starting to feel it. It's like, wow, the goddess is awakening. But we need to transcend that. Oh, so therefore it must be it, or I must have her, or I need to pick that flower, to a more grander sort of thing. I mean, I have this beautiful friend who just wrote me something amazing today, and he kind of said that what I'm sharing between this twin flame infatuation and awareness, that it's kind of like a initiation in general with the Ascension Pioneers, to move beyond that and to just move into the new paradigm of relationships. And there's a reward waiting for all of us who are going there, because that is the true nature of this. So when you are in your mastery, when you are in the knowing of thyself, you recognize your unique vibration, your unique energy signature, and whoever comes your way, you won't recognize them by the external signs or synchronicity, or, be a watchful observer, where are all these signs, are we not, whenever you wonder like this, it's already, the answer is no, because you just know, and it's magnetic, and it's completely natural, and it's like coming home. A lot of people who are awakening for the first time, they feel this over enthusiasm, and because they feel this finally in their life, this strong sense of belonging, because a fully awakened, and not just awake, but a fully soul embodied individual will always radiate that home vibration of source within them. So when they come into contact with you, they will feel that, they will feel home. A lot of times, because the mind is still involved, it's not yet fully integrated, they will mistaken that they're the beloved. So we need to be really neutral in the way. Divine love is pure neutrality. And only when you're in that spirit initiation, you will know through the heart space. You feel your beloved. You don't know it through the mind or these external signs. These signs are just kind of like the stepping stones. They're clues and messages along the way. But the heart, in the end, will always have the final word. The heart knows. So the heart is basically not just the strongest organ of this, the cells that carry this knowing, but it's direct link to the diamond core crystal that we all have. When we were created, we were all created through the same shining diamond, that neutral, beautiful, translucent diamond through which all the rays can flow through, the prism of all life, of all these rays in creation. So when you understand what sorts of burst you were coming out of, kind of like when you were birthed, when when you feel the beloved, you feel it as the energy. You don't make it personal. But when it is personal, you will know. And not, like I say, by these external signs, or it won't feel confusing. When it's a feeling of confusion, it's like I said many, many times in my videos, it's not it. But I feel there's this lack of full integrity in the spiritual community about this, because I'm noticing so rare people who are talking about the I am presence and in reference to the beloved energy. And the fact being that it's just, I guess, it's just for most people, the understanding is not yet there. And, it just shows where the general populace is still at and what they're still working through. But I also feel it's really important, because sometimes I see individuals mention certain things that are just not true. So I feel this is something I will say now that's really important. And in one of the videos, I've seen somebody mention, like, when you meditate, they said, when you call out to your beloved, when you meditate with them, you should always bypass your emotional body. And the first impression and feeling that I got in my body was, oh no, how can you say that? Because it couldn't be far away from the truth as it was. I was really actually a bit disappointed, because there's people giving twin soul teachings, and they talk things that are not even true. And they sell these things as truth to other people who maybe are not yet as evolved on their soul journey, and they fall for it, and they're like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And it's still, you need to go within. You don't always have to trust what others are saying. I mean, you should never, even me. It's just a signpost. Whatever you will hear in the external will be for a reason. It's always this way, but it won't always be as it will present itself. So when somebody says, you should never do this or that, watch the statement. How is it coming through? already in the way that's being said, you should never do this or that. Ooh, again, it's not coming from complete divine love because it's not neutral. It's giving you directions. It's giving you the shoulds and shouldn'ts, which is really not how spirit talks. And what I mean here is we're not supposed to bypass anything. We're supposed to integrate the wholeness that we are. For example, the Pleiadian energy, the gift of the Pleiadian heart was given to us as a race of human beings when we were first evolved, as a completely conscious 12-strand DNA strand populace. These divine beings were supposed to incarnate source in their endeavors here on Earth. Before we were a bit tempered with, like I said, but the emotional body in the beginning was very evolved. It was through the senses that we're supposed to experience. And this is a gift. This was a gift. It still is a gift if you know how you use it properly through awareness. So we're not supposed to bypass a certain aspect of us, even the mind. We're supposed to transcend it and evolve it to the highest level and integrate it. So we need to embrace the wholeness that we are. I can just say, oh, twin soul love, the beloved love, is something so high above that I'm going to negate my physicality. It's not a sexual thing. It's not an emotional thing. It's not a mental thing. And it's just going to be, we will just sit together like this as we are in spirit, full oneness, and we will do nothing. That's not what it's about. It's about the awareness, how the I am works through you and through the human embodiment and the vessel, how you're supposed to walk it and embody it. There's this one beautiful example that I'm to share here, the final end of this video. My mom was talking to me because she was reading this book. I think the author is Kathleen McGovern. It talks about, there's 3 sets of books. I haven't read any of them, but she sometimes, mentions because she's been reading them a few times because they're quite intense. In the Book of Love, that supposedly was this writing from Joshua. And it was this hidden writing that was very much, kept in the secret. So it was explained what Heroes Gamos, the sacred marriage, actually means, and how they actually portrayed Jeshua through the religion as this anti-sexual person who was so spiritual. It's just complete false portrayal. In truth, how was it revealed in the Book of Love and what he was teaching, because he was teaching a lot about sacred marriage together with Magdalene. And in the truth, they were teaching about this. They were just showing the way how you merge the feminine and masculine also in the physical. Of course, all the other centers needs to be aligned. It needs to be through wholeness, that the physicality can express it through purity as well. So when you say I'm a monk, or I am, deprived of this, or I'm putting my sexuality aside, is not the same way as when you integrate it through purity. It's not the same way to be a monk. You say, I am, a lot of people, what they say, I'm celibate for so many years. The word celibate just doesn't resonate with me, because it feels like, you put a certain aspect of yourself aside. We're all sexual beings, and sexual means creation beings, creative beings. We're always transmitting that creation energy through us. We're an infinite, unlimited source of source potential. So this just doesn't resonate with me. I would rather say you're preparing your sacred vessel for someone who mirrors to you and who can experience and share with you that true love. So like I said, I'm a bit disappointed because nobody mentions the I am. I mean, very few people, I guess, as just how I'm coming into contact with. And about eternal true love, that's also not being mentioned. I mean, it's all about that, those new agey dogmas. So it's very important to now say that, in truth, how it's written in the book, Jeshua was actually that prototype of that true man, of that sexually evolved man through the higher aspects, of course. So she said that's really beautifully explained there, and this is what it is. This is what the Heroes Gamos is. A lot of maybe beings here don't even resonate. They say, I'm totally, so high evolved that, that the intimacy in a sexual related way doesn't resonate with me. Because they maybe haven't had the transcendent experience of it with the beloved energy flowing through you. Let's just say it like this. Let us not put labels to anything, and let us not say this is not going to be a part of my experience. Let us rather say I'm open to experiencing the highest aspect of myself, of my inner marriage, of all my aspects, of my soul essence. And as well, if I am ready and devoted with the physical beloved as well, in unison of all of my bodies, of all of my states of being, and in all wholeness and integrity, and I'm open. Because with every time we say, oh, this is like that, or oh, I'm putting this aside, we're not open. But divine love is pure openness. It is the openness to truth. And the truth is the only thing that sets us free. So, like I said, you know you're beloved. And if you feel like somebody's coming at you and saying, I'm your beloved, and you feel confused, and I've had emails like that before. I remember people are telling me, well, this person says that, and they're so psychic. So are they right? Well, what do you feel about it? It's supposed to come through feeling. Nobody will have the right answer for you. Nobody can dream for you. Nobody can have guidance for you in that direction, because it's you and that other aspect of you, if I can even call it that. It's all you. You are the only one who feels through source in an individualized, unique way first. The source energy, the divine love always flows through you first, not somebody else and then through you. It flows through you. And the twin soul is actually, like I said, it's a one, it's an integration. So before you have that integration take place within you, how will you recognize it externally outside of you? As long as we still have parts of us that we push aside and we don't integrate them through wholeness, we will not recognize it. We will have different aspects of energy coming towards us. So as much as we're open and projecting that externally, that much energy can flow to us. For example, I'm not fully open, maybe just 80% to that. It's just giving percentage as an example. And I can only not attract, but I create. That's the difference. Because attraction seems very passive. I'm just saying I'm attracting, but I'm actually creating. So I'm actually creating in my reality those people who mirror how much open and activated I am for that potential, for that expression. And that is supposed to be the main thing. Always about the awareness and always about the knowing of yourself as an individualized, unique I am presence. So the beloved is felt, and only through feeling do we know. So do know thyself, and watch for those interactions or energy exchanges coming towards you, because this is a very crucial thing, and we need to transcend this. We need to move into the new paradigm. It's time that we embrace the beloved energy can flow through all of us, but let us not make it too personal, too quick, and jump to assumptions and conclusions, because the mind is a tricky thing. It has the stories of its own, like I say, and the mind also needs to be not pushed aside like, oh, the mind is bad, so I don't want to go there. But we need to also invite the mind in and also neutralize it through integration of all into wholeness and completion. So that's it for now. I'm wishing you so much love, beautiful heart circle for all of us. And I promise next time, if it is so decreed by the will of the divine, that I'll make that video which I was talking about. So stay tuned, stay updated. I love you all so much, as you know. And do check my Facebook page, because I posted the second part of the collection for my Soul Essence Stones. So now there's a complete 44 collection of all of them. And when I get those writings up this week, which are their oracle messages which they bring, which are so intense, the second batch I felt even more, because when I was creating them, I was just feeling what's coming through, like, wow, really intense messages, and what they were showing me and what's coming through me as an energy transmission. And if you want to stay updated, do check that out on my page. And when I get it all done, I'll put it like in this one writing. I'll try to create a document, like a booklet, with this guidance, because they share wisdom of the stars, the higher wisdom, wisdom of the higher illuminated realms. And if this is something you'll need on your journey, maybe it will assist you. So take care. Bye bye. Until next time.